Right.
I strongly believe that.
You believe that, but obviously we have to be, we're very conscious now that when somebody do go through that judiciary system, especially our young people, our community, we don't necessarily welcome them that easily, and they're not able now to go into jobs and so forth. So, I mean, I know that I myself have a lot of frustration regarding that, because I do feel that someone has done their path, depending on it, they should be able to get jobs, because then they're going through that cycle again.
Absolutely.
But you've noticed here, you said a mixed race.
Yes.
What's the thing regarding that?
Well, it's a recognition of both. I mean, I had a Scottish mother and a Nigerian father, and you know, I am loath to take sides and say I belong to one when I do belong to both. And I look at it, I encompass both of them. You know, my DNA is both of them, so that's the way I look at it.
But when you were in a role as a prison officer, do you think that you probably came after, were you more even attacked, more abused? Because a lot of people, I know that in the British system, sometimes they feel, some people, probably white, they feel more comfortable with just people who are one ethnicity rather than both, because they can't even sometimes cope with the fact that people are able to care for each other and to love. So at any time, did you pick up that the fact that also that because you're a mixed race, that you were even more penalized by particular people?
Well, you know, I mean, you have ignorance. You have ignorance. I mean, and my representation there helped that. That's the point. Without that, you know, how else can you represent yourself?
Right. So you were led now to write this book. It's been from 94? 94.
Yes.
And now we're in 2009. When did you complete it? And how hard or how easy was it for you to actually purge yourself?
Well, it was a journey, really. It was a journey, because it was a journey of finding myself as well, you know. You know, it's an autobiography, so it does entail a lot of things. But you know, the main gist and stories about my years in the prison service and what I saw and how through those experiences, you know, you might be able to help others, and if I can achieve that, then you know, I've done something with my life. That's
right. So where can we get hold of this book for those of us who are interested in reading this passionate book?
Right now it's on lulu.com. It's on the internet. I'm still looking for formal publishers, because it's such a controversial book, and they're a bit, you know, iffy about.
So what kind of feedback have you been getting from other publishers and other people?
I have been, well, I'm still negotiating.
You're still negotiating at the minute. Right. Michael, now, going through this experience, where's it taking you on to your journey? What are you doing now? And that negative or experience that you were able to take from time to time, how has it changed you as a person?
Tremendously. It's something, you know, it's something that's imparted a lot of spiritual open enlightenment in my life. It made me actually, you know, address issues of like we said, like the mixed race thing and all that, all inclusive, and it's gone on to a stage where right now, today, I believe very strongly in the Almighty God, and I believe that's the channel that we must understand, that everybody is one, that it's just oneness, it's the same spirit, individualized, and that's the way I look at life. And because of that, I'll eternally be grateful. I'm even grateful to the people who attacked me, because I don't think I would ever had that kind of insight.
Yes, you were able to grow from
to grow from it tremendously.
Do you think you were able to touch any lives while you were there, though?
Oh, I'm sure I did. Yes, I do. I still meet ex-offenders who, even when they see me somewhere, they buy me a drink and say, listen, you helped me, you helped figure me, you know, you helped me through my time there. You were positive when others were negative and all that, and you know, for that I'm grateful. I
can't help but touch on this particular point. I'm going to throw it to you just now. You've seen the way our young people recently have been going on.
Yes.
This is something that is international. I've just come back from Grenada, and even there, I've met a wonderful mummy, a woman who was even living here in the UK. She was there 3 weeks ago. Apparently, a young person attacked her, and it was horrific. And this is a woman who was here, retiring, going back home, and it's left her really quite fearful at the minute. This violence that we're experiencing, you have now been on both sides of the coin. What are your feelings regarding what you've seen, and how do you think that we can learn from your experience? What can you give out to us for parents, for even officers who might even be watching, or even our mayor, to speak?
Well, you know, the way I look at it is, somebody's sent to jail. they're paying for a crime. The onus is on us to then. I mean, there's a statement that says that Her Majesty's Prison Service is there to serve the public by keeping in custody those committed by the courts and to help them, to rehabilitate them. That is the ethos. That is the way it should be. But what you have is you have this warehouse system where people are just dumped, nothing happens. You have people who go into prison for, you know, onerous crimes, some silly thing. 6 weeks later, he comes out with a drug habit. He has a prison sentence over his head. He can't get a job. What do you expect him to do? So in other words, somehow or the other, we're funding these you know, them and us syndrome. We're funding this other side of it. We're funding criminality. We're funding a subdivision of society and calling it where people are ducking and diving. And we must address that, which is why society is spiraling the way it is.
Right. Maybe 2 years ago, wonderful woman, Andrew Davis, was in town at a women's conference. The last time I'll say that our previous mayor had kept in, and of course we were working in partnership with him on the BBS team here. Yeah. And Andrew Davis had said, and I was quite surprised at the time, that she was a part of some committee that was anti-prison.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize this is something that's quite prominent in the U.S., that people are actually re-examining and addressing if this is really the way forward.
Yeah.
Now, what you've just said to me is that, of course, you've used the term a warehouse.
Yes.
Somebody goes in, comes back out with addiction,
yep,
etc.
Yep.
So we do need to look at it.
We have
What are your feelings? Would you go as far as being anti-prison now, or what's your feelings?
It's actually in the book as well. I did mention in one of my statements that the prison is the most negative place on earth. And, you know, I was leaving off this murky sports. and you know, the way forward is we must. There's no use sweeping it under the carpet. Because look at where society is going. Young kids think going to prison is a street cred thing. That is how bad it is. Yes. In fact, amongst their peers, what is happening is that, you know, the harder you are, I've been to prison, I've done a bit of time, everybody respect and all that crap. And that's what's going on. So we must address that.
Do you have any suggestions at this stage?
Well, you know, they are rehabilitating. I mean, there are experts who talk about these things, who have been fighting and trying to make sure these things happen. But I mean, places like Scandinavian countries, you have a more serious approach. You have people who actually, the prison officers there go through a 2-year study course. You know, deeply into psychology and all that. So there is an attempt to address these issues. And until we do that, I'm afraid society will just continuously keep on, you know.
Right. Now, you're an author now. What else are you doing that you can tell us a little bit about? Or?
Well, I am actually concentrating my energies on this. I had a little company that was supposed to be in the housing market, but obviously with the credit crunch and all that, it's a bit, you know, it's not operating now. But
you're
you know,
pushing ahead with this at the minute.
Because I believe it's something that has to be said.
It has to be said.
Yes.
Well, we applaud you for being having the energy to come out with it.
Thank you very much.
And of course, it's going to make interesting reading.
Hopefully.
Right. Do you want to let us have your details again, Michael, as to where we can get this book and so forth?
Yes, it's lulu.com, and I don't know. I did write it down on one of those.
Definitely, it's on the screen, and it's on the screen when our viewers are seeing it just now.
Okay.
So, do you have a particular launch? I mean, this has already been out, but is there another launch or something that's coming up? What's
yes. Like I said, I'm negotiating now, and you know, I'll inform people.
Let us know, and we'll let our viewers know about it as well. It's been nice talking to you, Michael.
It's been wonderful.
Thank you for being a part of what we're doing here today on the BBS show. Right, viewers, you've heard All Screwed Up is the title. Can be controversial, very in-depth book Michael has been able to write regarding being a prison officer way back in the 90s, and really has there been much changes. Right, we're going to go for a break, and definitely Lavina and I will be opening the phone lines because we want to hear what your views are this morning. So, see you in a bit.